because they're going to come and dump today.
Okay.
So this is the wood that's coming in from the field. We've already dumped one load. This is the second load. The first load was dumped in a dump truck. We have one dump truck and two flatbeds. So we have to unload the flatbeds by hand. There you see the first load that was dumped, and you can see them throwing the second load out by hand. Looks like quite a mess. It's all mixed up. There's plywood, OSB, 2x4, 2x6, 1x, all the different parts of the houses that we build. We bring that in here, and after we get it all unloaded, they'll begin a sorting process. So you can see this looks like an overwhelming task. There's quite a bit of wood. So they're finishing up the unloading process, and we'll begin to sort the wood. We'll see that next. There's a lot of wood. Okay, so what they're doing right here in front of us is they're pulling out the 3/4 OSB. We can talk about what OSB is later. It's used for floor sheeting. Most of that we're going to cut up into stair risers. Over here, they're putting 3/8 plywood. 3/8 plywood is used for what we call shear panels. That's to strengthen the house for earthquakes, keep it from falling down. And we'll take that and we'll rip it into furring. Where they put a shear panel on the wall and it stops, we have to continue. So we put a little strip on each stud and we call it furring. Okay, so now notice Andy's got 4-foot stuff, and then he's got a long piece of stuff, 3/4. He's going to put that in another pile. He can find it. Oh, here, it's right in front of us. So, basically, the plywood comes in 4x8 sheets. So, there's a high possibility the scrap's going to be either 4-foot or 8-foot. So, we separate by thickness. Now Cosme's got a piece of 3/8. It's going to go over here in the 3/8 pile. Victor's continuing to stack up the 3/4. You'll notice that there's a lot of movement. When we have a pile of wood like this, if you lean backwards, it'll kill you. You got to lean into it. You got to attack it. You got to be hard. Work is hard, so you have to be hard. I'd say Cosme's getting into his work. He's on top of it right now. He's pulling out the plywood. Now, what this tells me is the plywood's the easiest to deal with as far as sorting it out and stacking it up. It doesn't have nails in it. It's big pieces. It comes in shapes. Now, Nani is pulling out the long pieces of 2x4 and separating nails from no nails. So after the plywood, then we do the 2x, and that's nails and no nails. The nails will probably be the last thing we do. We got into some 1/2-inch plywood, and that is over here. Now what Leonardo just did was he marked the edge of that pile of wood so that we can count the wood. We actually count the wood by board feet. And then the men will be paid 10 cents a board foot for everything they sort out. They actually can make pretty good money doing that. And at 10 cents a board foot, when the wood's worth 50 to 70 cents a board foot, they can make money and the boss can make money. And we keep the wood out of the landfill, We teach the men shape, sizes, how to make quick decisions. Their body gets used to handling the wood. A lot of good things come out of this pile. It's an excellent training exercise. And it's just a good warm-up every morning. So a lot of good comes out of this pile. When you first walk out and look at it, it's overwhelming though. That's why we have everybody out here. We want to attack this pile and kill it. Kill or be killed. We are wood warriors. But just in a few minutes we've been standing here, I see the pile going down. As the plywood comes out, it gets more organized. Just in the back there, we're going to have a whole bunch of stair risers. And all of that wood will replace wood that would be cut out of full sheets. Every row of that, every 2 rows of that's a sheet of plywood. How many rows are right there? Yeah, count them up. 24 rows? 25. 25 rows? That's 12 sheets of plywood. Yeah. Well, there's 12 sheets of plywood right there. So if they were $10 a sheet, which is cheap, that'd still be $120. And how long we been here? 20 minutes tops?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
And that's not even talking about the wood right there, the 3/8 we got. There's a couple more sheets of plywood there. I started to see some TJIs coming out. TJIs, that's a manufactured piece of wood that looks like an eye. It's got a top and a bottom rail and a midpoint. Now, whenever we do floors, we have to block the floors sometimes to hold straps and just to keep the floors straight. So we'll take those and we'll cut them into blocking. And every one of those blocks is worth about $2. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. $14 right there. Here's a bunch of TGIs waiting to be processed. Now they're discussing the fact that the TGIs come in different sizes. First thing we look at is how wide are they from top rail to bottom rail. And they can either be 11 7/8 or 14. Those aren't the only sizes manufactured, but those are the 2 basic sizes that we use. So first we determine them by how wide they are from rail to rail. And then next, we look at the actual size of the rails. Now the rails can go anywhere from 1 3/4 all the way up to 3 1/2. See those right there? That's about 3 1/2. And those are probably 2 1/16. And each one of those sizes has a different name. 1 3/4 is a 110. 2 1/16 is a 210. 2 5/16 is like a 230. That gets confusing after a while until you get used to it, and then it's not confusing at all. Look, see the pile's going down. So the plywood comes out, the 2x4 goes back. There's a piece of 1 1/8. Now, 1 1/8, basically what we use to make stair treads. We use it in here for wall plates. We'll make bird boxes out of that. Oh, here, Beanie is pulling out the nice long stuff. See, no nails. Oh, nails went back. The nails, you throw them back. So that pile's gonna have all nails, and that still needs to be reworked. Everything from 4 feet and down goes on pallets. Anything that'll fit on a pallet goes towards the sorting table. And then everything over 4 feet gets sorted out. We have 2x4s and 2x6s. Look at the pile now. Looks very manageable. Now, If these men would have come out here and resisted this work, like that man's doing right there, the pile would still be the same size. There's a good example of what we don't want. That man will be laid off today. It'll be a favor to him. He's not happy here, and we need to let him go find where he will be happy. There we go, and here's another long piece. Now, in the world of scrap, how long it is makes it more valuable. You notice we got plenty of little stuff. We don't have a lot of long stuff. Yet, everybody wants long stuff because it's easier to cut long into short than it is to sort through the short to find the right size. But look at the pile. Look, it's going down. Of course, we're not looking at the fact that there's nails and there's not nails. They still got to sort all that out. What they've done basically is taken a very disorganized pile of what normally would go in the landfill, and they've straightened it out to the place where they've got all the plywood out, all the specialty pieces out, and now they're ready to sort and pull nails. Ramiro just gave Leonardo a command to clean up in front of the table because that's where we're going to go to next. We're going to start using that table to sort out the wood. We got a couple men over here putting the wood up on the table, and they pull it around by size. They put mismo by mismo, same and same. And here's the pallets. Now we've decided that we sort wood, used to be every 2 inches, now we sort it every 3 inches. Now it's important to keep the stacks straight. We talked about this yesterday, because when we store the wood, the tendency of the stack, there's a good case in point of what happens. See how it's leaning out? Well, there's going to be all that space lost when we go to stack it up. See, now the edge of that one's more what we're looking for. Because we could put another pallet right next to that one. So we have 2 men putting wood up on the table and 3 men taking it off. Got a couple guys over here finishing off the pile. So the pile is basically gone. Now what we have, there's wood that needs to be sorted, and back there is wood that needs to be cleaned. So both of those piles are nailed?
Yes. Because there's a lot of people, so we can...
Okay, so you got a couple different piles so everybody have a place to work.
Yes.
Basically got the yard down now to all it is wood to pull, nails to clean up. I'll come back in a little while and see how they're. But now we're back to pulling nails. When I check my watch, it's only 8:20. So they've only been on this process for about 20 minutes. And they're still pulling nails. Now, Donnie's decided that it's time to start sorting the wood. Donnie's sorting, Raul's putting it away. It is now 9:22. I would say normally at this point we should call this off and move the men back into work. They've lost their momentum. They sat down and ate. We got no ganas. And we're in the wood pulling stage. Probably would have been better just to go back to production and hold this for another day. However, okay, we're counting the wood. So, Leonardo, you got everybody's name down?
Yes, sir.
Their start time?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to count?
3/4 inch plywood.
Okay, and what do you call that?
We actually call this 4x4.
4x4. It's 4 feet wide and 4 feet wide. And then you're going to count what? How many rows?
Yes, sir.
All right, count them. How many rows?
45.
45 rows. And then the list, we just punch it in the computer and it tells us how many square feet that equals, right? And plywood square feet counts as board feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what are you going to count?
Now we're going to count the 1/2 inch plywood.
1/2 inch plywood. Now they're still sorting wood, but when they get done, what you're going to do, we've marked these pallets with paint where the top was when we started today, and then we'll count rows. And every row counts for 25 square feet, and then the list calculates that into board feet. And that 2x4, all that came in today because we cleaned that down to nothing yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
That's the pile that we sorted out into the boxes. So there's 108 pieces right there, and we're still counting, correct?
Yes, sir.
So a 6-footer is 4 board feet. So the list is going to calculate that out at 4 times 96. So that's how we're going to figure out the board feet there. Okay, here we are. We're getting ready to tally up. This is the wood report. Hey, Leonardo, you need to put, where did that wood come from? Came from Monet. What's today's date?
902.
We got everybody's name, and when they started and when they finished. Then you just type their start time and finish time in the computer, and it'll automatically calculate how many hours they worked. They'll come down here. We have all the different kinds of wood, and you're going to data enter that. Every time you data enters over here on these lines, but you can see the dollars at 10 cents per foot is changing every time he data enters over here on these lines. So he just types a number in there, and it calculates automatically over there and gives us a total. So what's the total, Leonardo?
3,296 board feet.
So that pile was 3,296 board feet? We owe them $329.
I mean, $329 with 63 cents.
Okay, so that, when we take the total man hours and divide it into that number, they average $15.33 an hour. Leonardo just reminded me that we haven't done the 3/8 yet. For right now, I want you to go to where it says 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch bulk. Put in 12 rows. Okay, so what did it do to our numbers?
$16 an hour.
They made $16 an hour, and how many total to how many board feet?
3,476.
3,476 board feet of how many dollars?
347.
$347. They get $16.17 per hour.
An hour.
All right. So, and South Coast gets over 3,000 board feet or square feet for 10 cents a foot.
Yes, sir.
And it would have cost us anywhere between 50 and 70 cents to buy it. Of course, it's scrap. It still has to be processed further. It can only be used in certain situations. There's a certain amount of management involved in getting it to the right place at the right time. using it correctly. However, if we get everything running smoothly, I think there's money to cover it.